Hello, I'm Charly, and today I'm going to be discussing the author Patrick Ness. Yes, I am known in the booktube community for slaughtering people if they don't read Patrick Ness. I'm just joking, but in all seriousness, Patrick Ness is my favourite author. I decided that I wanted to make a video that was about him as an author, how he writes, which book I would recommend to read first if you haven't tried out Patrick Ness, and which ones are my favourites, I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna rant about Patrick Ness. So, bit of background. I read The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness in year 7. I'm now in year 12, and I read that first book and then I didn't continue with the series because for some reason, I don't know why. I think maybe the Ask and the Answer wasn't out yet, or I couldn't find it or something, but I didn't end up reading the last 2 books in the trilogy until last year. Basically, nothing can even come close to how much I love the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, okay? Nothing comes close. And I decided I could make this video now because I have read almost all his books, and yes. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, and this is a sci-fi dystopian survival trilogy. And they look huge, but seriously, you get through them so quick, and there is no structure to this video, by the way. But you might be wondering why I have like 2 of the Ask and the Answer, and that's because, okay, this book is the one that started it all. But yeah, this one has been read so many times, okay? This book, if I had to save one of my books, it would be this specific one. Okay. And then this particular copy has not been read by me, it's been read by my boyfriend, but not by me because I read this on my Kindle. And then this copy hasn't been read by anyone, and you can see that sticker there, yes. It is signed by the one and only Patrick Ness. I haven't met Patrick Ness. Trust me, I would probably just vomit if I did meet Patrick Ness, but it is signed because I found it and I was like, yes. You can see that signature, yes. And lastly, I have this, which has also been read by my boyfriend, but not by me, because I read a library copy of this, and this one is also signed by Patrick Ness, in a different colour, in blue pen, yes. So basically, this one follows a boy called Todd, and he lives in a town with only men, and he's the last boy. You become a man when you turn 13, I think, and there's no women, and everyone can hear everyone else's thoughts in what's called noise, so you can't keep anything a secret. I can show you what it looks like. It looks like this. This is what noise looks like. And the whole book is basically centered around that, and then Todd one day goes into the swamp with his dog Manchi, who can talk. Manchi is the best character ever, everyone knows that. And he goes into the swamp and he stumbles upon a spot of complete silence, which is unheard of, that never happens, and then he has to run away. Basically, that's all I'm going to tell you. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you anything about the other books, but like, once you've read this book, you think that so much has happened, and then you pick up the second book, and there is so much you didn't know. If I had to pick a favourite of the series, I think it would be this. This is possibly the best book I've ever read. It's one of the books out of the Chaos Walking trilogy is the best book I've ever read, but this one blows your freaking mind. You have no idea, okay? I can't even tell you anything about this book, but oh my gosh, okay? So basically, I have not heard anyone not like this series. I think I heard one person who didn't like the first book, and I was like, but seriously, I don't even think I've ever heard, I think I've heard 1 or 2 people give one of the books in the series are 4 stars. Other than that, I've heard 5-star ratings for all 3 books, and people fly through these books. They are amazing, okay? You will get so much out of these books. Next, I'm going to talk about A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I read this beginning of last year, in April, I think, for the first time. I've read this twice now, and I think I read this right when it came out. So whenever that was when I read this. A month after it came out, or something like that. This book is beautiful, okay? This book has illustrations, if you didn't already know. But make sure that if you want to buy this one, get this looking edition. Don't get the one that's like white with leaves on it, because that one doesn't have illustrations, which is weird. Like, the illustrations help you so much with the story, and they just give you the feel for the story and everything. This book is about a boy called Connor, and every night at like 12:07, I think, a monster comes and visits his house, and he's not sure if it's real or not, or if he's dreaming or what's going on. But basically the monster wants the truth from him, and the monster starts telling him these 4 tales, and then the 5th tale Connor has to tell, and Connor doesn't know what that 5th tale is, but he has to tell it. And that's basically what this is about. It's also about his grandma who is ill, and his life at school. He gets bullied a lot. And this is a really short book. You will fly through this and you'll probably cry at the end. So if you want a sad, meaningful book, then this book is amazing. I don't think I've ever heard anyone give this less than 5 stars. If you want a genre for this, I would classify this as like a magical realism contemporary, or a low fantasy kind of book. I don't know, it depends on how you interpret it, I guess. Next book I'm going to talk about is More Than This by Patrick Ness, and this is a standalone book, and I'm not going to tell you the genre because you have to go into this knowing pretty much nothing, not knowing the genre. Don't look up the genre, I will kill you. So all I'm going to tell you about this is it's about a boy called Seth, and in the first few pages of the book he drowns and he dies, and then he wakes up. And you're like, what? Oh, and if you're wondering like why I don't have a physical copy, I do, but my boyfriend is reading it, you know? So, yes, but I didn't read that copy either. I didn't read a physical copy. I read it on my Kindle because I read it like right when it came out last year. And okay, this is the book that I've heard mixed reviews about of Patrick Ness's books. This one, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I read this book so quick, okay? So quick. I can't tell you why, but it's just, you just want to know things and you're so confused, and you just, if you've read any of the Chaos Walking books, you know that Patrick Ness likes to do some twisted version of dramatic irony where the characters know things that you don't know, and it's really annoying, but it's also fantastic. That's what this book does. And yeah, I can't tell you why people don't like this book. I know why they don't, but I don't want to say it. I don't really know what else to say about this one because I can't tell you anything. It will make you question your existence. Can I tell you that? I think I can tell you that. It'll make you question your existence. I'm still questioning my existence. And the final book I'm going to talk about is the most recent one that I've read, and that's The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. This is an adult book. All of his other books are young adult books, except for the ones that I haven't read. There are like a few random books that I haven't read, like Topics About Which I Know Nothing and The Crash of Hennington. I haven't read those two, but this book is like a contemporary magical realism book. I did not enjoy this book very much. I'm gonna be honest, like, Patrick Ness is my favourite author, but if I don't like something by him, I'm not gonna say I like it just because he's my favourite author. So you can know that my other reviews were honest. This book I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars, I think. It took me forever to get through. I would not recommend starting on this if you're wanting to get into Patrick Ness, but if you are a big fan of Patrick Ness, I would recommend giving it a try. It's about a middle-aged man, and one night he wakes up and he hears a loud crash, and then he finds that a crane has crashed in his backyard, and he helps the crane. And then the crane flies away, and then the next day a mysterious woman walks into his workplace, and her name's Kokimo, and they form a relationship, and it's really strange. Like, you don't know what Kokimo is, you don't know who she is. There's a lot of magical realism that I think was taken too far, especially at the end, and I got really confused in this book. I just got really confused. I kind of, like, in the middle I was really enjoying it, but at the start and at the end I was confused, and I was like, So now I'm gonna recommend you which books that you should start on if you want to get into Patrick Ness. There's 2 that I would recommend depending on your situation. The reason why I want to recommend this one first is for if you want to get through it quickly and you don't want to get really invested into a trilogy, or if you want to read a sad kind of book. This is really good, so I would recommend this if you don't want to get invested into a series and if you just want a quick kind of read that will make you feel all of the things. If you are ready to get invested into a series and you want to have your mind completely blown, then Chaos Walking Trilogy is your go, okay? When you finish the first book, you're not going to be able to stop. You're going to need the second book, and when you finish the second book, you're going to need the third book straight away, my friend. So if you don't want to get involved in that, don't start on this. But if you think that you're ready to start a trilogy, then I would definitely go with this, because I do like this more than A Monster Calls, just because it is my favourite. Like, my favourite books ever are these books, and they just, oh my gosh. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about Patrick Ness's writing style. I don't know why I saved this for the end of the video, but I did. So basically Patrick Ness has this really kind of internal monologue type of writing where it's almost like his writing is just the character's thoughts unfiltered, just streaming out. And he does this thing where he writes a short sentence and then cuts it off, and then writes the next short sentence, cuts it off, and keeps doing that down a page. And I find it really effective to show like panic, kind of. This happens especially in the Chaos Walking Trilogy, and also a lot in More Than This. His writing style is really kind of different in The Crane Wife, but in all the other books it's pretty similar. But the one that you see it the most in is Chaos Walking. Other than his writing style, his characters are just really different than what normal young adult characters are written as, and I really appreciate that, and I think that's what a lot of people have also said. So I think that's all I have to say. You should read Patrick Ness, because if you guys are friends with me on Goodreads, then you took a vow. You took a vow to read Patrick Ness books. So you better do it, okay? Or I will unfriend you on Goodreads. What? I'm joking, I won't actually do that, but really, you need to read Patrick Ness. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of books that kind of like, if you enjoyed this book, you'll enjoy Patrick Ness books. If you like The Fifth Wave, you will enjoy the Chaos Walking Trilogy. I didn't enjoy The Fifth Wave as much. I did, but I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, like, I don't know if that helps you guys. So yes, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please read Patrick Ness. Comment below with which books you started on. I want to hear what other people started on, or which book you're planning on reading first by Patrick Ness. Yes, okay, goodbye!